What's good? It's your boy Marwin, Food Fidelity. Today I'm making a seafood gumbo recipe. That's seafood, no chicken, no sausage, just straight up seafood, roux, spices. I'm that guy. If I call a dish a certain name, then the ingredients are going to be featured throughout. There won't be these other things that we include that's not included in the recipe name. So hey, my seafood gumbo is just straight up seafood and a roux. I start by making a very seafoody stock. For me, that's taking the lobster tails from the lobster that I'm using and taking the shrimp shells, and if you got head, include that too, and just mixing that with some water, blending those shells up real and tight, and then straining them and using that liquid with some other typical stock ingredients like celery, onions, carrots, etc. But there's some prep work here, right? You want to clean those ingredients up. So if you're using shrimp, definitely you want to devein them. That is, cut with a knife down the spine and remove all of that icky stuff that's in the intestine or in the spine, whatever you want to call it. But it's that stringy stuff that's basically the waste from the shrimp. And that's it. I don't want to talk about that too much because we want to talk about flavor, talk about taste, and don't have time for that. But once you get your stock, nice and proper, then that's the beginnings of a really, really, really good seafood gumbo dish. It's really about that stock, that base seasoning, and it's kind of hard to mess things up if you got a good base, and so you want to spend a little time developing the flavor there. And so once I got my ingredients, I went heavy on the onion too. So I got onions, white onions, I got leeks, and I got green onions to really add some flavor and depth to that stock to go along with all the seafood that I'm using there. Then you can start kind of working on that roux. You can cheat with the roux by baking it, which hey, I do that from time to time. But if you're gonna go the traditional old school route, you're just gonna have to work that elbow out, maybe both elbows, switching up. Mixture of butter and flour. You can use your fat of choice if you got oils that you want to use. I like my roux on the darker side, so I just kind of keep on stirring and stirring and stirring until I get the color that I want. Your choice, seafood you can go on the lighter side, but hey, I just like that dark roux. And then once you get it all together, you can start to saute your main vegetables in the dish in that roux. So onions, peppers, celery, and then add a little garlic late. My seasonings, you saw me mixing that up earlier. I like to mix my seasonings up in one bowl and then add it, periodically as I go, and just try to add those layers of flavor, along with the roux and the okra and the stock and other dishes. And so this is a layered dish. There's just so much complexity, so many different flavors that are going on here. For me, that includes adding beer for just a little more depth. You want to cook that beer down and concentrate the flavors a little bit and get that alcohol content out as well. But that's it. And so you can see I have that base is just perfect. It's on the thicker side. Now I can start adding back that stock that I made, which is just rich with all kind of seafood flavor from the shells of the lobster and the shrimp. And then I got some bay leaves to kind of round things out. As I said, I want my stock on the fishy side, or I want my seafood gumbo on the fishy side or on the seafood side. So I'm gonna add a little fish sauce. I like that red boat. That's my thing. To just get additional flavor. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, which is another ingredient that's kind of common in Louisiana and other cooking down south. And I got the makings of a really great dish. I don't need a whole lot more outside of that seasoning. If you want to know about that seasoning, that's just your typical kind of Cajun or spice mix. Think red pepper, cayenne, paprika, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder, and some dried thyme. I'm adding some fresh thyme in here to just add some of that fresh quality. I'm gonna bring that to a boil, then reduce it to a simmer. Let it cook for about an hour at a real simmer before I add the seafood. I want those flavors to kind of come together. And so I wait and just kind of hold up before adding my seafood. Use your seafood of choice. I got some shrimp, lobster. I got some what do you call it? The mussels, as well as some crawfish. You know, it's really up to you. I don't eat crab, and so you don't see any crab in here. So crab, I get sick. I have some allergies, so I have to avoid the crab. But that's it. You know, it's like you don't need to cook the seafood long. So that's why, you know, because it'll overcook. So, you know, don't be so too patient. Once you add that seafood, you're kind of on the clock because it's going to cook pretty quickly. Which is why I let my gumbo kind of cook a long time without the seafood, so those flavors kind of come together. And that's the dish. If you're digging it, leave a like or a comment. Most importantly, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button, and you can get recipes, updates to your inbox each week when I post new content. That's it. Thanks for vibing with me. Peace out.